Good afternoon guys, and welcome back to your Friday fix to your course management sessions here at Waterfront Golf. Today we play a par 4 here, 220 yards, uphill, stroke index 3. And I did mention last week that we shouldn't be doubling these holes, and unfortunately there's quite a lot of doubles that go on here. I know the guy who has the course record here did have a double and still went on to shoot 65. But here, this is very much a hard hole. A lot of you aren't going to be able to reach this green, but how many times I see people come on here, get the driver out because they say, well, I know I can't reach, but I'm going to reach because I'm going to hit my driver. I'm going to hit it as hard as possible, and we go into these trees here, we go into the trees into the left, or how many times I see people hit the good old top and straight into these bushes. What I want you to do is think about it, it's stroke index 3. So it's stroke index 3 for a reason. Obviously you're going to get a shot on here, you might even get 2 shots. So let's play to our strengths. We've got around about 60 yards of well cut fairway before the green. So what I'm suggesting for you to do potentially, if you can't reach, if you can't hit it 220 yards to this narrow green, then think about laying up. It is wider, shorter. You could hit maybe a 180 yard shot, 160 yard shot. That's going to get you onto the top plateau. We've then got a short pitch shot to get onto the green, 2 putts, and we're out of there with a bogey. A bogey is either you're going to have 1 shot, or you maybe even have 2 shots. You're going to be able to use them and get out of this hole. This is not a hole to be taken on. It's certainly not a green light hole. You see on the previous hole last week, it was a short par 4. I hit a 5-wood, that left me a pitching wedge in, and I had a great look. It was more of a green hole as long as I got off the tee correctly. Here we want to do exactly that. I've got a utility iron. I'm going to see if I can get just the front, but even for me, my focus is mainly, if I'm going to miss this hole, I want to miss it short. I want to leave myself the same chip that you're potentially going to have, because I feel like that's more beneficial than if I go for it. If I go left, it goes down a massive hill and it is lost in the abyss. If it goes right, you're in thick rough, very hard chip shot to a narrow green with the abyss on the other side. So let's just try and get this up there. A nice solid strike. And that's a nice penetrating ball flight just left of the flag, and that has come up just short, so that's going to leave me a chip shot, exactly like I'm suggesting for you. I've seen tour players on this hole, especially when it's into the breeze, have to hit a 3-wood. It's a very hard hole. I've not seen many birdies. The only birdie I made was when I hit a really thin shot. It ran all the way up there in the summer and went to about 1 inch, so that's the only reason I made a birdie. So you can see that even for me, that is around about 20 yards short. So even with the utility in these conditions uphill, it's left me certainly a good chip shot to get in there. But even for me, I'm happy to walk off here with a bogey, and that's probably not something you expected to hear from a PGA professional. Right, so it is clean in place on winter rules, so I'll give that a quick clean and a dry on the good old waterproof, first outing of the year. And then what I want to do is make sure that I go up to the green to look at my landing angle, look where I want to land it, and look what kind of shot I need to get to this middle flag. So pitching wedge is going to be the perfect shot for this, because I've got a lot of green to work with. I've probably got a good 35 feet of green to work with, so I'm going to try and land this on the top, on the green, not short. I'm not trying to bump it up like a lot of people would. On the green there, let it release. See if we can get out of here. Landed up the top, released nicely, might just be past. I've got an outside chance at a par, but I shouldn't be getting worse than a bogey. So we can see a pretty good shot, probably ran out to around about 6 feet, a little bit of a shorter putt than last week. Let's give it a good read, see if we can hole it. We can see a bit what it's done, obviously past the hole. Let's get it lined up, give it a chance. Don't need to be overdoing it here for the par. Best roll we can. Ooh. See there, just moved a little bit right. Pretty straight putt. I just pushed that a little bit. We can see it didn't start on my intended line, but we get out with a bogey and we move on.